Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and joining me, of course, Jason Cameron here, fresh off a weekend, ready to break down a great weekend of the world of sports. We got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, we got some golf talk, we got some soccer, and then we got a great UFC breakdown fight night. So it's going to be fun, man. Let's have a blast tonight. You ready?
I am ready. I am set, and let's go.
Nice. Okay, we're here in Vancouver, both of us. The biggest story over the weekend locally here was the Vancouver Canucks have somehow magically figured out a way to get 20 shots or less and get a 3-1 advantage in this series. Miraculous comeback yesterday that was just absolutely mind-blowing. They played terrible pretty much the entire game, and then they decided, let's pull the goalie and see if we can score. And they scored 2 goals with the goalie pulled. 6 seconds left was the last one to put it into overtime. Scored early in overtime and pulled a defeat from the jaws, or pulled a victory from the jaws of defeat, and somehow got a huge win. And it was awesome where I was. I hope you got to watch it and felt the same kind of energy. Incredible to see how the city has embraced it, and they pulled off such an incredible comeback.
Okay, so I have to be honest. I saw the highlights, and I started watching the highlights because I heard it. I heard cheering across the street, just a roar of "Yeah!" And I'm like, "Whoa, what is happening right now?" And I'm like, "Oh, me, I think the Canucks game is on." So then I tuned in. I saw it, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, wow!" They literally tore victory away from the Predators. They tore their heart out, man, because that's a bad loss for them. That's a bad loss for the Predators.
Tough. It's got to be tough for them. They had that wrapped up. They played a pretty perfect game and had Canucks just shut down, and somehow Canucks just like I said, pulled the goalie and pulled out the win. The Canucks were met again at the start of the game with the news that their goalie went down, so they were down to their third string goalie. They had to get the guy from they got both goalies from Abbotsford up, and the Russian Latvian goalie Archer Silov started, and then Nikita Topoulou ended up coming and being the backup. And when a team's down to their third string goalie, it's not a good thing. You don't win games. You barely can squeak by, and somehow this team has not been able to keep their goalies healthy, but they're still winning 3-1, poised to be able to pull this off and get a victory here on home ice Tuesday night. It's unreal. Third string goalie they're using, and they got the win still.
Well, you know what that means? It means that however we're developing our goalies is awesome. Yeah. It is unreal because that shouldn't have happened, yet it did. Granted, yes, a bunch of those key goals were with no goalie, but does it matter? Does it matter?
Yeah, that's true. The last 2 were without the goalie, so maybe they should have tried to do that throughout. Maybe they would have scored 10, 15. But yeah, it was an incredible performance by Brock Besser. He ended up getting a hat trick, all 3 goals in regulation time. He's had an absolutely incredible bounce back year. 40 goals in the regular season. He looks like a man possessed, scoring in every game in this series, and just really being that anchor. He had that opportunity to put it into overtime. He had it on the doorstep. He shot it. It hit the side of the net. He had to reach over, grab it, pull it back, and put it in. And not many guys in the pressure moment of that would have been able to hold their head and be able to make that move and get it in. I've seen way too many guys just blow it, just not be able to rise to the occasion in that moment, but he did. And he's becoming such a valuable piece And you know, to get a hat trick, to be able to score all the goals in regulation time, to give him that overtime, man, you can't say enough about his performance.
Yeah, incredible focus and discipline. That's all I can say about his performance. And the fact that we had to lean on him for everything just
Yeah.
to get it to overtime. Oh, that's a true playoff performer right there.
Yeah. When you see Rick Tocchet get up to the podium and he's wearing his tracksuit top or jacket like I am, right underneath the Canucks logo, you see the word resilient. And he said that's been their mantra, that's been their theme word of the whole entire season. And he said that was just another example of our resilience and being resilient all season long, being able to take the punches when they get thrown and be able to stand back up and keep back at it. And it's pretty cool that they have that mantra. I've heard that word so much recently in so many different walks of life. I think it's so key, and it has been such a smart move for them to make that their mantra, and they've shown that just all season long.
Yeah, yeah, they're weathering the storm, and that's what you absolutely have to do in the playoffs. You have to be resilient. If you want to make it to the finals, you want to get to that cup, that team has to be that, has to embody that.
Yeah. Canucks made a big trade right near the trade deadline. Actually, in a few weeks before, they were able to get Elias Lindholm from Calgary and gave up Andrei Kuzmenko and a few draft picks. And a lot of people were unsure of the move at first. And then he came over here. He got injured right away, and he didn't play good down the stretch. He turned down what's been reported, an 8-year, $72 million deal with Calgary. And he came here and wasn't playing good at all. And everybody was like, nobody's going to offer him anything. He's just going to get turfed out of Vancouver once he becomes a free agent, and he's done. And he has played so great in the playoffs here. And he's the guy that scored the overtime winner. And I think finally we're getting to see why they acquired him. They didn't actually acquire him for regular season play. They acquired him for this playoff run, and he's fitting in perfectly well. He's anchoring one of the lines, and he's really stepping up and showing why he's a valuable addition to the team.
Oh yeah, most certainly, because hey, he was the reason why we won that game. Because Brock Besser did all the heavy lifting, and Lindholm just came in and said, "But I'm going to be the champion. I'm going to be the real winner right here." Yeah. Thanks, Brock.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, it was amazing. Super impressive. Game 4 goes game 5 goes tomorrow here in Vancouver, 7 o'clock puck drop. So everybody make your way home, get home, go to the bars, go to places. We watched it at the Pint. We were sitting in the same table you and I sat at last time we were at the Pint watching the UFC, and great spot. I was looking at the clock, and the clock was ticking away, and I'm thinking 3-1, down to about 3.5 minutes left. This doesn't look good. So I signal over to the waitress. Okay, give me my check. I'm ready to, pay our bill here, sign off on this. And then she comes over, bam, they score. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm still closing this bill off. But if they score again, I'm definitely buying some more drinks. And so just as she's turning away, they score again. So I just say, hey, more drinks here. So she had to open up a new check and a new bill. And we got to have some more drinks as the intermission happened and heading into overtime. So that place was rocking. It was pretty quiet when we first got there. We got there pretty early, tried to get the best seat. And then it got busier and busier and busier. And when they scored those 2 goals, oh man, the place was just going bananas. It was super fun, and I'm glad we went out there.
No, man. Hey, like when the Canucks are doing well, the city's just better. It's a better place to be. And also, too, you can just feel it. You can feel the energy, and you can feel the eruption of joy, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you experienced when you were there.
Yeah, no, it was so great. The city's ready and ready for them to finally put the nail in the coffin, send the Predators on their way. It looks like Edmonton Oilers are going to be their next opponent. The Oilers have got a commanding 3-1 lead over the LA Kings. The Oilers played late last night. They actually had the face-off around 9 o'clock. First, they kicked off the game last night about 9 o'clock Alberta time, which is crazy and so weird. And all of a sudden, bam, the Oilers won 1-0, which is not the Oilers way. They're usually winning 6-5, 5-4 shootout games, lots of goals, but they played super well and they ended up winning 1-0. They have a 3-1 commanding lead. Game 5 goes Wednesday, and if they knock them off, Canucks are in the same side of the bracket. We'll see the Canucks face off against the Oilers in an all-Canadian matchup.
That's too bad, honestly, because that just means that's one less Canadian team that can make it to the finals or has a chance. So that's a shame, but I'm very much looking forward to that series because that's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a great series.
Yeah, seeing Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, all the top players from the Oilers against Canucks. It'll be a great rivalry back and forth. It'll be a lot of fun. We were pretty excited. A lot of Canadian hockey fans were pretty excited. 4 teams that looked like they had a good chance to go far in these NHL playoffs and be able to see some extended runs. Canucks and Oilers are both in a 3-1 series advantage right now. Unfortunately, Winnipeg and Toronto are on the other end of 3-1. They've only got 1 win out of the first 4 games. Winnipeg's down 3-1 to Colorado, and Toronto's down 3-1 to Boston. So it's really looking like at the end of the second round, we're only going to have 1 Canadian team left heading towards the Stanley Cup final. So it's tough. It's too bad. I mean, I'm not counting out a Canadian team to win the cup, but as I've mentioned many times on this podcast, we haven't had a Canadian Cup winner since 1993, and the drought might continue. Only 1 team left at the end of the second round. That's pretty rough.
That is pretty rough. It sucks because the chips didn't fall the way that we would have liked to see them drop this time around. So, but at least there's still hope. There's still light.
True. Toronto, the fans are jumping off the bandwagon like crazy. There's just an epidemic of broken ankles all over the hospitals, all over the Ontario area. They want to fire the coach. They want to get rid of the general manager. They want to get rid of the water boy. They want to get rid of every single buddy. I think they're asking for a new mascot. The teams fight with each other. There was a fight on the bench between the players. These guys are just all falling apart right now. And it's crazy that it's against Boston, who seems to knock them off all the time, has broke their heart so many times. They haven't beat Boston since 1959 in a playoff series. And Boston just knocks them off year after year after year after year. And Boston tanked at the end of the year so they could face Toronto. And now they're just rubbing it in their face. Brad Marchand, that little puke, is definitely still rubbing it in their face. And oh man, it's rough in Toronto. You would not believe how badly they're taking this series, and down 3-1. It's looking pretty ugly there.
Well, yeah, because they got this team that they can't beat, and they haven't beaten over 50 years. like that just says everything you need to know. It's like, yeah, we got this one team, can't beat them. How long has it been? Oh no, over 50 years.
65 years. 65 years. Yeah,
sorry.
That's a retirement for a human being. Like, Jesus, that's so brutal.
No.
Winnipeg too. Winnipeg was fantastic this year. They had such an amazing year, and then they unfortunately had a little bit of a dip near the end of the season. Fell down into that 2-3 position. Had to face Colorado, and Colorado has their number. Winnipeg won that first game 7-6, and you were like, wow, what an offensive explosion. This is great to see. And bam, they lost all the next 3 games, they've only scored 5 goals in the 3 games combined. The Colorado's goaltender Georgiev he was ready to be thrown out. They were going to fire him. They were going to burn him at the stake because he let in those 7 goals in that first game. He's turned it around and played really, really great. And Connor Hellebuck, the goalie for the Jets, he is going to be the regular season goalie of the year. He's going to win the Vezina Trophy. Absolutely, probably the best goalie on the planet right now. But he's fallen apart last 3 games, letting in 19 goals in the 4 games. And he got pulled yesterday after 4 goals. And I don't know what's happened to the guy. Suddenly he's fallen apart, and it's just bad timing for the Jets. It's looking like they're going to get bounced out in the first round.
That sucks because you need your goalie to play well. Absolutely need them to play well in the playoffs. Like if you don't have a hot goalie or he's not playing up to a certain standard or level, you literally have no chance. You got no chance of winning.
Yeah, and Colorado is just humming on their power play. They're scoring like crazy. Valeri Nikushkin scored a hat trick yesterday. He's been scoring all through the playoffs. Arturi Lehkonen scored yesterday, 4th game in a row, every game in the playoffs so far. Only the 3rd Avalanche player ever to score the goals in the first 4 games. Nathan McKinnon was good with 2 assists. Cale Makar's looking great. And man, this team is a juggernaut. Yeah, it's looking pretty amazing for them, and looking like they will advance. A lot of people were pretty concerned over the weekend. The Jets defenseman Brendan Dillon got his hand skated over, and it sliced his hand. Blood was spurting out like crazy. They were pretty worried about it. Luckily, he got immediate medical attention, got his hand attended to, got it stitched up, and they say he might actually be able to play. It was pretty shocking at first when you saw it. At first, I thought it was right over where you know on your wrist there, but I guess it was a little bit higher on his hand there. And he's been super valuable for them. Stalwart defenseman playing over 20 minutes a game, and they're going to miss him a lot if he doesn't play. But amazingly enough, they say he might be able to suit up in their next game tomorrow night.
That's the amazing thing about hockey players. Yeah. They're too tough for their own good. Like, because anybody else, like, if that happens in any other sports, like, well, yeah, you're out.
Gone.
You're not playing.
Gone for a while.
You're gone for a while. Like, it's like you're out for like 2 months. It's okay. You almost lost your hand. It's fine.
Yeah, they are super tough and incredible, and I'm pretty blown away by how strong they always are. Okay, so we've had 2 series in the NHL finish now. The Florida Panthers were able to knock off their interstate rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning, tonight. They blew them out tonight 6-1 to take the series in 5 games, 4 games to 1. Panthers are looking strong after that surprising run from 8th place last year all the way to the Cup final against Vegas. They played great against Tampa Bay and were able to knock them out tonight.
Well, the Panthers were favored, I believe, to try to possibly make it to the finals. And you know what? They're playing up to their potential. They're playing very well, and they were able to knock off the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they're looking forward to who do they going to possibly meet in the second round?
I have to figure that out. I think probably the Rangers. Probably it looks like. Okay. The Rangers are the other team that have advanced already. They were able to knock out the Washington Capitals in a sweep, 4 games straight. Won yesterday, 4-2. Alex Ovechkin looked horrible in that series. He didn't get any points, no goals, no assists. He looked pedestrian. If he was trying to be a statue, he was doing a good job at it because there was just a lot of standing around. I don't know what's happened. It was like, okay, I got 30 goals. Yay. Now I don't have to do anything else. I've ate too much. I gotta rest. And he did not look good in all 4 games. It was disgusting. And I don't know why he just seemed like he gave up, and the rest of the team just didn't have it to be able to beat the Rangers.
Well, okay. Well, first off, yeah, the Washington Capitals are not even close to on the same level as the Rangers. But you know what? Sometimes the team will follow who's supposed to be their captain, who's supposed to be their lead guy, which is Ovechkin. And I'm sorry to say it, but I never believed that Ovechkin was even in shape the entirety of this entire season.
Yeah.
So if he wants to do better, well, first off, get your body in shape if you want to do better for next year.
Yeah, big time. You're right. The other series that's close to being wrapped up is the Hurricanes against the Islanders. Went and watched them play on Saturday, and the Islanders staved off elimination. They were down 3-0. Islanders ended up pushing it into double overtime and won it, and staved off that elimination. They play a game tomorrow at 4:30. Pretty impressive being able to get that victory. The guy that scored the winner, got 2 goals in the game, was a guy from Coquitlam, Matthew Barzell, one of the top players on the Islanders. Great to see a local kid doing so well, and scoring that huge double overtime winner.
Yeah, because the Hurricanes are just that tough that they had to push them to double overtime just to win one game. Just one game. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Carolina's really good. The other game, it's going on right now. It's in the second period, just started. Golden Knights and Stars. Vegas is up 2-1 in the series and 2-1 in this 4th game. So I'll try to give you an update before we sign off for the night. So tomorrow's games, Leafs and Bruins. Game number 5 goes 4 o'clock puck drop for us. Islanders Canes at 4:30. Avalanche and Jets game 5 tomorrow 6:30, and the Canucks drop the puck just after 7 locally here against the Preds. So pretty great. It's getting a lot of these series are getting close to being done, and a couple are already done. We'll be able to give you some updates as they progress. There was another firing in the NHL today. San Jose fired their coach David Quinn last week, and now the second coach to walk the plank happened today. The Seattle Kraken fired head coach Dave Haxtell. He was their only coach they've ever had all 3 seasons in the NHL. They failed to make the playoffs this year after their 100-point incredible regular season, and then advanced all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year. This year, they disappointed, did not live up to expectations, and he is gone. They are looking for a replacement for him now.
You know what? I think it was more surprising that they did so well last year.
Yeah.
And I think the expectations of them to try to repeat that might have been a little much.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. It might have been a little much.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate. But yes, somebody has to walk the plank for that. It's the head coach.
It's him. Yeah. Another note that I wanted to talk about in the NHL. One of my heroes passed away just late last week, and they did tons of tributes to him over the weekend. Bob Cole, the greatest, the GOAT of play-by-play hockey, the absolute greatest of all time, bar none. Everybody has been saying it all week since his passing. He passed away on, I think, Wednesday, 90 years old. I cannot believe how many special moments in hockey he has been doing the play-by-play. Has this incredible call. I can think back to hundreds and incredible, huge, iconic moments in hockey history, and he'll be sorely missed. It was amazing to see all the tributes pouring in for him, and how everybody said, this is it. He was the GOAT. He's on the top of the mountain. Nobody ever Nobody else ever reached the heights that he did, and sad to see him go.
Very sad to see him go. Because he had the iconic voice. You knew when he was doing his play-by-play, you knew who it was, and you knew that he's going to have a great line in there somewhere, or a couple. You know, like a couple.
Yeah.
And he was amazing at his craft. Absolutely amazing.
He was absolutely amazing. The thing that I always loved about him was that you could tell the way he started with his inflections in his voice, you could tell that it was getting to an exciting moment. If you happen to look away, if you were looking at your phone, if you went to the washroom, if you were getting something to eat, or something was happening, all of a sudden you could tell by the way he was talking, I better get back and watch this, because you could, incredible moments just about to happen. And he just had that ability to draw you in and tell you, hey, keep your focus, keep your attention. This is something you don't want to miss. And I think that's a special gift that not a lot of people have.
The power of a good storyteller.
Yeah.
And it's the power of like how he can relate to you through the TV with the spoken word. And he was incredibly gifted at that. And he'll be sorely missed because we don't get that anymore.
Yeah. From a 90-year-old passing away just over the last few days to an 18-month-old kid passing away today, I heard about Francis Ngannou lost his son. They have not divulged the reason for his death, but the outpouring of love and support for Francis and his family. He has released a bit of a statement that I'll read. Too soon to leave, but yet he's gone. My little boy, my mate, my partner, Kobe, was full of life and joy. Now he's laying without life. I shouted his name over and over, but he's not responding. I was my best self next to him, and now I have no clue of who I am. Life is so unfair to hit us where it hurts the most. How do you deal with such a thing? How can you live with it? Please help me if you have an idea, because I really don't know what to do and how to deal with this. And whoa, the absolute outpouring of support and sympathy and his and prayers for him. It's got to be just so rough for him and his family to lose their son.
Devastating. It's devastating. A parent never wants to see themselves outgrow their children.
Yeah,
like that's something that should never
outlive.
outlive. Yeah. And it's just absolutely devastating. And if he's looking for somebody to talk to, well, he probably could lean on his former coach, Mike Tyson, because he went through something like that already too.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah. So he's about to fight coming up in about 3 weeks. So I don't know if this changes that. I don't know. Yeah. If he'll be able to keep at training. I guess we'll start hearing more about this, but devastating news. It was just tough to see this today.
Yeah, super tough, man. Like you never want to see anything like this.
No. Okay, moving on, I guess. We'll talk about the NBA. NBA playoffs are in full swing, just like the NHL. There was only one sweep in that first round so far. The Minnesota Timberwolves were able to knock off the Phoenix Suns in 4 games. Anthony Edwards, 9 points in the first half yesterday, and then he ended up with 40. Karl Anthony Towns, fantastic game. Rudy Gobert's playing well. Now, this entire team played great over that 4 games, and were able to dispatch a very tough Phoenix team.
And you know what? At the end of the day, this was Anthony Edwards' coming out party. It really was.
Yeah.
And also, too, they didn't really have that difficult a time. No. I thought they would have. I thought the Suns would have put up a bigger fight. They really didn't. Like, even in this 4th game, Durant had 33 points and Devin Booker had 49 points. But the Timberwolves still won this game, I thought, pretty handily at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed easy. I was
Yeah,
shocked. I thought Phoenix would, be able to put up a lot, but they only had one or two guys going every game. They didn't
yeah,
have that other.
exactly.
They didn't have that third guy. They didn't have contributions from the bench much, and it just didn't seem like it. I talked early on. I thought Nurkic was such a liability, was not going to be able to withstand anything in the middle, and he just really was not up for it. I thought there just really wasn't enough there, and you and I talked about Phoenix not having that depth when they decided to get those big three, and we thought they addressed it. We thought they had started to
Yeah.
put the pieces in place to have more depth around it, but this definitely didn't show in this playoff run.
No, it didn't. And then it didn't help too that Grayson Allen, the best 3-point shooter in the league, got himself injured as well and was unavailable. So
Sure.
they didn't have enough pieces to contend.
No.
They just didn't have enough. Durant and Booker were great most of the time. Beal was sometimes good here and there,
Yeah.
but it just at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. And the Timberwolves have a complete team, and that's what a complete team does.
Yeah. This was their first ever sweep for the Minnesota Timberwolves organization, and it's their first playoff series win since 2004, so 20 years. So a new regime, a new team. We haven't seen a lot of success down in Minnesota, but they seem to have put these pieces together. Now it's going to be interesting to see when they play Denver, who I think I'm already counting out beating the Lakers. That's going to be quite the Titanic battle in the second round.
I think that's probably good. That might possibly be the best battle in the West out of all the rounds, even including the Western Conference Final.
Yeah.
It's going to be Titanic. It's going to be great because what the Timberwolves have is they have size. They have size to confront Denver and their bigs on their side. So it's gonna be great, man. I'm super looking forward to that battle.
Me too. Yeah, that's going to be really great. Okay, there was actually another sweep just happened. Game just actually finished. Oklahoma City Thunder were able to sweep out the New Orleans Pelicans, 4 straight. They beat them 97-89 tonight. And yeah, this is another team. Those top 3 teams in the West this year just sort of separated themselves, and man, is it going to be crazy seeing them, battling it out. Now that Denver and Minnesota is going to battle, it looks like OKC's, gonna wait some time and wait for their opponent. But yeah, I was very impressed with Oklahoma during this series, and once Zion went down, I think this team was sunk and just wasn't able to get the guys to step up enough. They were able to shut down Brandon Ingram most of the series. CJ McCollum up and down, but OKC definitely the better team.
Yeah, OKC was the better team, and their superstar Shea Gilgeous-Alexander (SGA) led the way in every game.
Yeah,
every game he was stellar. He was spectacular. He was exactly what they needed him to be.
Yeah, he is so great, and proud that he's the Canadian. We're gonna have to OKC's gonna have to face up Dallas or LA. That series is now tied 2 games apiece. The Clippers were able to win 116-111 yesterday, even without Kawhi there. And Harden and George both stepped up and got 33 points each, and were able to get a victory there, and really surprisingly tie the series up.
Yeah, they held off the Mavericks surge led by Kyrie and his 40 points. The Clippers were able to still hold on to their lead after the Mavs tried furiously to come back. Didn't work. I was impressed. I was more impressed with Harden because he has played incredibly well in this series thus far.
Yeah,
he really
me too.
had.
Yeah. I did not expect this from him. I definitely didn't see him playing this well, but he's finding his spots. He's dribbling great, and he's contributing a ton. Yeah, Luka had a phenomenal game with a triple-double again. Kyrie was scoring at will. I was impressed with Kyrie. Kyrie had a slow start, and then once he started going, he just seemed to be able to hit every shot that he was putting up there. But they just couldn't get a third guy to really get in there and join them and put them over the top.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. They needed help. Those two were incredible, but sometimes when you just have the two guys, you still need some help. You still need like some offense from that other guy. And who is that other guy? Unfortunately, they didn't have him in that game.
Yeah. Okay, that's the West. Let's turn to the East and talk about Boston. Boston was able to win tonight, 102-88. Take a 3-1 stranglehold on their series. Even though Eric Spoelstra and the Heat culture is really phenomenal, they were able to get that one victory. Without Jimmy Butler, this team is pretty sunk. And Derek White tonight went off. He had a playoff career high 38 points, 15 of 26 from the field, 8 of 15 from 3-point land, and 3 blocks. The guy was a man possessed, and very big reason why they took the win tonight.
Yeah, and as I've said before, it's like, pick your poison. Who do you want to stop, and who do you want to let score? It's like, you know what? Let's see if Derek White can beat us. Oh, wait, he can.
He can, yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's tough with that team. They got so many weapons, and a lot of people said, this could be a great series. Miami could give them a lot of trouble after giving them trouble last year. But once Jimmy went down, this team has just really not enough. Bam is playing great, and I'm very impressed with what he's brought to the table. I heard after the game the other day, they had a big meeting in the locker room, and he jumped up and said, "Hey, everybody, let's go. I want everybody to be on the floor going after loose balls. I want everybody to be going for rebounds. I want full effort. And all of a sudden, up jumped Kevin Love and said, "This could be my last chance at a run. I might be done. This might be the last opportunity I have." And everybody was really quite surprised because Kevin Love's not usually that kind of guy. I heard he just started blasting people, getting in their face, saying, "Give me an effort." And I think it supposedly shocked quite a few of the teammates of them. But I just think they're too undermanned, and Boston just has too many weapons.
Yeah, they're just outclassed. And also, too, even the win that they did have, they hit 23 threes in that game.
Right. Yeah, right.
So you would have to just keep doing that every game for you to even have a chance to win against Boston. All you got to do is hit over 23s a game.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, not sustainable.
No small feat there.
Yeah.
Boston is now 18-0 this year when holding teams under 100 points. And game 5 goes Wednesday back in Boston. I think that series will be done that night there. Number 2 seed Knicks took a 3-1 series lead over Philly yesterday. They won 97-92. Jalen Brunson had a phenomenal game. He was a man possessed. He actually set a new scoring record for the Knicks franchise. Had 47 points. No other player has had that many in a game for the Knicks. And Joel Embiid's playing great, but you can tell he's banged up, still hurt, can't give his 100%. And that's really the two superstars against each other. Brunson has just been able to do that much more because he's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact, I gotta say this, the fact that the 76ers won game 3 and Embiid scored 50 on one leg. All right. Well, that's it. That's what he can give you. All right.
Yeah.
Like that to me was unfreaking believable.
Unbelievable.
because you can tell like he's clearly hobbled. And so whatever he can give you is what he can give you. And it's up to everybody else on the 76ers to pick up for him because he's out there battling. And then that's what he can do. But Jalen Brunson, first off, I have to say this. I was surprised when I heard that he is the playoff performer with the highest amount of points ever for the Knicks. Yeah. There's been a lot of great Hall of Famers that played for the New York Knicks over the years. And the fact that he's the guy, that he's the one, I think it's absolutely amazing. It speaks to just how much he's elevated his game since leaving the Dallas Mavericks. Great move by the Mavericks, letting him go. Awesome stuff. And then so I give him all the credit in the world, and the fact that he's doing this without Julius Randle.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Super impressive. And game 5 goes tomorrow, 4:00 Pacific tip. And it looks to me definitely like the Knicks are advancing. Okay, number 3 seeded Bucks come in, and you think, oh man, this is going to be a hell of a series against Indiana. Top scoring team against one of the best teams for the many years. And then Giannis goes down and gets hurt. And then Dame goes down and gets hurt. And without Giannis and Lillard, this team is sunk. Indiana was able to get a huge 126-113 victory yesterday. And Miles Turner was phenomenal. Tyrese Halliburton, great game. You got Siakam, you got Andrew Nembhard, and this team looks like they're going to knock off the Bucks, move forward, and it's too bad. Even Chris Middleton had to leave the game yesterday because he was a bit injured, and I was like, oh, Doc Rivers must have been like, okay, I'm getting fired again. This is it for me. Holy cow! They just can't stay healthy there.
No, that's the difference between these two teams. Yeah. One team is clearly healthy. One team is not. They're missing all their stars. And that, because like game 3, I do have to mention game 3. Game 3 was freaking amazing.
Amazing game. Wow. Yeah. I texted you like, what a game that was. Yeah. And incredible double overtime. And Middleton kept hitting those shots at the end. Like, wow.
Overtime.
I couldn't believe he hits those two that were just buzzer beaters that first put it into overtime and then into second overtime. Like, overtime. Unreal. Unreal.
And on top of that, Middleton was not good. He still wasn't even healthy in game 3.
No.
So the Bucks have given everything they could, but again, with the injuries and the fact that that's part of the luck of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Where you need your guys, you need your top performers to be healthy, or else you just can't make it. You can't make it. The Bucks are clear evidence of that. If you don't have your top guys there, even the number 6 seed can come in and just take you out.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. The other thing that went wrong for the Bucks yesterday was Bobby Portis getting ejected. I didn't think what he did deserved to get ejected, but you got to be smart. You can't put it in the hands of the referees or the people above. You just got to be good. You got to stay on the floor, especially when you're that undermanned.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he should have taken that into consideration before he did what he did, because the fact that he wasn't there to help his team contributed to this loss.
Yeah. Brook Lopez looked great. I thought Malik Beasley was good. Middleton, phenomenal. He's had a great series, but not enough. Game 5 tomorrow, 6:30 back in Milwaukee. If Lillard's out, if Giannis is not back, if this team is still undermanned, Indy's going to take this and move forward. The 4-5 matchup is also really tight in the Eastern Conference. The Cavaliers looked phenomenal first 2 games in Cleveland, easily got 2 victories, went back to Orlando, and Orlando's blown them out 2 games in a row and tied the series. I'm pretty shocked. I actually thought, I guess I overreacted to those first 2 Cleveland wins. And you were like, oh, look out for Orlando. And you've been saying it all year. This defense, this team, they're super deep. And man, the two impressive victories there. And I don't know if they've been able to shift the momentum back. It's going back to Cleveland, where Cleveland seemed to easily win. But um, who's in the driver's seat now in this series?
I'm gonna go with my Magic. I've
Yeah,
been I've been I've been harping on them from the beginning, and the
yeah,
reason why I'm harping on them is because of that defense. When
yeah,
they're able to turn that defense on, they are incredibly hard to beat.
yeah,
Incredibly hard to beat. And they showed it in game 3 and game 4. And I've always liked the makeup of the team. And beyond Boncaro, Suggs, Wagner, those are the guys that need to show up for them, and they have.
yeah.
They really have.
I didn't realize that Suggs is related to Terrell Suggs. I didn't know that. Did you?
Oh, I think I did. I think I knew that, but I forgot. Now, is he a cousin or a
Yeah.
nephew?
Yeah, he's a cousin. Yeah.
Okay, makes
And
sense.
there was I'm trying to look it up right now, but
Okay,
um yeah, so he has so their dad was the cousin to Suggs. He
yeah,
also Jalen also has cousin Eddie Jones, three-time NBA All-Star.
right.
And then his other cousin is Tyrese Halliburton.
that's,
So
that's awesome.
crazy
Oh,
family, man. Crazy
oh,
family. And he's dating a girl named Haley Van Lith, and she plays for Louisville Cardinals. Oh no, she plays for TCU now in
okay.
the NCAA, and they call her. Let's see, she is what? There was a term they used for her. I said she's the most. Um, what was this term? There was a term for her that she's the most. Oh, been described as the most marketable women's college basketball players in the world. She signed name, image, and likeness deals with Adidas, J.C. Penney, and Dick's Sporting Goods already, and has become a millionaire before she's even out of college. And yeah, this family, and wow, I was just shocked to read all this stuff about Suggs and all his family and all the success and they've had, and then his girlfriend also one of the best basketball players in the world. Pretty incredible.
That is awesome. That
Yeah.
it's just so cool to hear about and see, and the fact that he made that himself. He made it to the NBA, but you know what? He had great examples to follow
Yeah.
throughout the entirety of his family.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah. Awesome genes there. Holy cow.
awesome, Gene. Awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, so this is fun. That series tied at 2. We'll see what takes place the rest there. Um, I didn't ask you who you think's going to still win that Clippers Mavericks series. Who do you think is going to come out of that, win the 2 out of the next 3?
Oh man. Oh, I knew you'd ask me this question. Oh, I will go. Oh, man. I'm gonna go with the Mavericks.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Mavericks because as much as Harden's played so well, I know he's gonna drop the ball at some point. I know you're gonna do it, James. You're gonna do it. So yeah, gonna go with
Okay.
Dallas.
Going with Dallas. Okay. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to both these matchups. Well, they're both 2 games apiece, and should be super fun to watch the 2 out of the last 3. Okay, let's shift very briefly to MLS. Inter Miami had another huge win over the weekend. They were able to have a 4-1 win over New England. Messi got 2 goals. Suarez got 1. They are first in MLS with 21 points. Second place in the East is Cincy at 18. Third is New York with 18 as well. Oh no, 17, sorry. And Toronto, fourth place with 16 points. Toronto did win 2-1 over Orlando to get into fourth place. In the Western Conference, Vancouver had a 1-1 draw actually against the New York Red Bulls. Both teams now sit third in their conferences, and Salt Lake is first in the West. LA Galaxy second, Vancouver third, and Minnesota sits fourth. I saw all the Inter Miami guys at the Heat game tonight. They were all courtside. They walked in and turned a lot of heads. It was funny. It almost had the entire arena just go silent for about 10-15 seconds, and then everybody was like, holy cow, they're here. It started a big roar, but it was kind of wild. I think somehow somebody just noticed, and then suddenly the building kind of went silent for I'd say about 10 seconds. It was pretty bizarre. And then all of a sudden the roar started going when they actually realized that it was them.
You know what? It must be really cool being Lionel Messi, where he just goes, see that, guys? Yeah, that's because of me, not because of this guy right here.
Yeah, pretty wild. Yeah. To get that kind of reaction, just walking in a room, walking in a building. Yeah, it was pretty neat, man. It was pretty wild. Okay, a couple of notes. I wanted to start actually with the NFL draft. So, a lot of picks were going according to plan, and then your Falcons decided to just go flip the table, start a riot, freak everybody out, and decide to draft Michael Penix Jr. Right about a month and a half after they signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million deal. They decided to draft a quarterback, and everybody was like, what are we doing here? I reached out to you right away and asked you what the hell. So did so many friends of yours. And have you figured out an answer? What were they doing? What are they doing?
Only thing I can think of is this. And this is a little shaky, but I'm going to say it.
Okay.
I think they're trying to hedge their bets because they don't know what version of Kirk Cousins is going to come back from this injury.
Okay.
But even if they want to hedge their bets, why would you give him such a huge contract?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, you gave him the money, so you clearly believe that he's going to be able to perform at the level he's always performed at. Yeah. So, with that being said, so now you want to go and say, well, just in case, we're going to get this guy. All right? Yeah. Now, this guy, Michael Penix Jr., if I'm him, I'll be like, wait, I'm an older guy because I stayed in college.
Yeah.
So I'm older.
5 years, I think he was there.
That much time to wait. I'm ready to play right now.
Yeah.
No freaking way I can play. Pay dude all this money. The only way that he gets to play is, and hopefully it doesn't happen, I'm hoping that does not happen, is Kirk Cousins gets injured again.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way that works out, that happens. Otherwise, Penix is just going to be sitting on the bench, watching him play for the next 3 to 4 years.
I think if I'm Penix, I'm his agent, I'm his family, I say don't sign. Don't sign the deal. Don't sign the deal. Just say no. I didn't spend my life to get to this height to come and sit holding a clipboard behind a guy for 4 years. That's not what I'm here for. He's probably the most ready quarterback already going into the NFL, and he won't throw a pass for 4 years if Cousins stays healthy. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's not smart. It's actually pretty crappy and disrespectful to him. It's actually really crappy to him. He's put in all that time. He got injured so many years and just kept at it, pursuing it. And another injury, had to switch schools, another injury, and just at it. Finally wins the Heisman and just looked amazing in his last year, and gets just a kick in the gut on one of the best days of your life. You're supposed to be so happy getting into the NFL, and immediately you're like, what? Why? I don't get this. Why am I here? Why would you have picked me? This doesn't make sense. And so I think he just doesn't sign a deal and they're forced to trade him. I think that's what I think is going to come over the next few months in the offseason.
I wouldn't be surprised because if I'm him, that's what makes sense to me because what they did doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense so much to the point that I swear I saw, like when they were in the war room and they made the pick, that the GM had to explain to Arthur Blank, why did you pick that guy?
Yeah.
Because they're talking to the side. You could tell Arthur Blank's like, okay, explain that to me again. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I just signed a huge amount of money to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Why did we do that? Why did we do that?
And supposedly they let Cousins know just while they were on the clock, while the clock countdown was on, they finally picked up the phone. Oh, hey, Kirk. Yeah, we decided to draft this Penix kid. Hope we just want to let you know. See ya. And Kirk was like, seriously? What the hell? Why didn't you get me a receiver? Why didn't you get me a good running back? Why didn't you get me an offensive line guy?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here? Like, I just came here, tried to give you, the next 4 years of my life, and you're going to do this to me? That's pretty dirty. And so, yeah, Arthur Blank got to be mad. Cousins got to be mad. Penix, all the fans. I don't see anybody being happy about this move.
Nobody's happy about it. And I don't know. Like, is the GM even happy that he made this move? Because he's just getting freaking destroyed. He's getting ripped by everybody, every pundit, and every NFL pundit that you can think of, including us. Why did you do this? Why? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I agree with you. If Michael Penix's agent says to him, well, what do you want to do? It's like, well, I don't want to sign the deal. It's like, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Don't sign the deal. Don't do it.
I just I was shocked. I think everybody was shocked, and it's really too bad because they got a lot of good publicity with signing Kirk Cousins, and it looked like wow, they're gonna have a really great quarterback going in. They'll be able to get those pieces working with the offensive talent they have, and this could be a great turnaround year, bounce back year. And they just lost all that goodwill, a month and a half later after signing that big deal. Now, all you hear is negativity about the Falcons now, and that was something that you didn't think was going to be this year. You thought, they're going to turn this around. They're going to be a playoff team likely, and now you just don't know what the heck's going to happen.
You know who I blame in all of this? Tom Brady. I blame Tom Brady. And you want to know why I blame Tom Brady? Because of what he did to the Falcons in that Super Bowl.
Right.
It was disrespectful, extremely humiliating and disrespectful. And guess what happened, Tom? The organization has never been the same after that. Now they do stupid ass shit like this, where people are like, well, they lost the fuck. I don't know why they did that. Tom Brady did that.
Tom Brady.
Okay.
All right, Tom, you've been told. You're to blame, and you better just swallow it, eat it. You are to blame, and I agree with Jason. Yeah, he is to blame.
He's most certainly to blame. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, touch a little bit on the rest of the draft. Tell me your favorite guys. I know you got the top 20 guys there in front of you. Who are you really excited to see coming into the league, and who should we be really focusing in on when the NFL season starts?
Okay. I'm just gonna say this guy because I just like the pick for the San Diego Chargers since they have done a lot of stupid, like just a ton. It's like a lot of stupid. So the number 5 pick, Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. They needed to shore up their offensive line. Yeah. I thought that was a solid pick. Loved it. Right.
Yeah.
And then the number 9 pick, Rome Odunze. I think I said his name right. Anyways, wide receiver from Washington, I thought was an excellent pickup to go along with Caleb Williams so that he has another weapon to pass to. I
Yeah.
thought that was an excellent pickup by the Chicago Bears. Those were the two that really stood out to me.
Yeah, Bears probably won the draft, getting the #1 overall pick and being able to replace Justin Fields with Caleb Williams, amazing. And then Dunze, incredible wide receiver, super solid guy, great hands, absolutely another weapon. And they've really actually assembled an incredible amount of weapons there in Chicago. They looked pretty bad for about the last 3-4 seasons, but have turned it around, I think, with this draft and the last few big moves they made. I love seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. In the NFL. His dad, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time. I didn't think he gets the credit that he deserves for how incredibly talented he was. Such a massive weapon. Just great to see some of these guys, kids coming up and looking, and being so great and being able to be #4 overall pick. Obviously, going to have a solid NFL career.
He's going to have a fantastic NFL career. If like the heights he could reach is just going to be like his old man Hall of Famer, which I think he's going to get there because by all accounts, he's supposedly better than the old man.
Unreal, man.
And the old man's a Hall of Famer. So, okay, cool. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. Awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah. 6 quarterbacks going into that first round. And unreal. So many offensive tackles and offensive linemen. This was a fun draft. I always love it. So great to be able to watch it. And I do want to focus in on a few Canadians that got drafted. We had the first Canadian that went off the board was Isaiah Adams out of Ajax, Ontario. He was an offensive lineman with Illinois. The Cardinals picked him up in the 3rd round. And UBC Thunderbirds finally got a NFL draft pick. We've got the big Giovanni Manu from Tonga originally, came to Canada, became a Canadian citizen, played with the T-Birds last year. We were able to advance them all the way to the Vanier Cup. This kid is 6'8", 352 pounds, an absolutely massive human being. Detroit Lions picked him in the 4th round, 126th pick overall. And it's the first player out of the U Sports of Canada since 2016. The Saints picked David Onyemata. And this is the first ever T-Bird to ever make the NFL draft. Very cool. Great to see a local kid making it good. And he's athletic and he's huge. And I think Detroit's made a really good pick here.
I think so too, because I saw some of his combine stuff and his combine numbers, and they were freakish, to say the least. Yeah. So the fact that a team was going to try to take a flyer on him, take a chance, it's a smart move. It's a smart move.
We also had Canadian Theo Johnson, a tight end, selected by the Giants. It was the 7th pick in the 4th round, 107th overall. He's a big boy, 6'6", 260. Had a great last season. And Darren Waller has been mulling retirement from the Giants, so he might be able to slot in as top tight end there. And he's highly touted actually for the CFL draft, which goes tomorrow. And I think somebody's going to draft him, even though he has been drafted into the NFL. They're going to take a chance that he doesn't stay there his entire career, maybe comes up north of the border and gets to play for them.
Well, either way, it's good news for him because he'll have a fallback if the NFL doesn't follow through, but I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Another big news today, Travis Kelce signed a new 2-year, $34.25 million deal with the Chiefs. Big extension. Gets a nice raise and gets to try for a 3rd Super Bowl in a row and keeps the band back together with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and all those boys.
You know what? That's actually at a good number. That as soon as I heard you say that, I'm like, that's actually a good number
Yeah.
because he's nearing the tail end of his career. It's not quite 20 million, so it's not, but it's just under. So it's not a disrespectful number for him, who's going to be a future Hall of Famer alongside his brother. So yeah, I think that's a good number. And they have a very good chance of getting number 4, which would just be ridiculous.
Amazing, hey.
Yeah.
His brother actually just announced today that he will be joining ESPN's Monday Night Countdown
Nice.
after retiring from his 13-year Eagles NFL career. He will now be part of their broadcast team. It's I don't know if they've disclosed any numbers, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be paying him quite a bit too.
Yeah, because you know what? There's one great thing about like these athletes now that they're doing their branding with the podcast and stuff. What you actually get to see is how they're good on the mic.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey's excellent on the mic. So this
Yeah.
was a no-brainer to bring him into the booth. No-brainer, as far as I'm concerned.
Also, today, CBS announced that Matt Ryan is joining the NFL Today. He split last season in the studio and was a in-game analyst for many of the games. He officially retired from the NFL last week after he collected his $25 million for last year and was able to keep at it. So, yeah, he's joining Phil Simms, Boomer Esiason in the on the NFL Today panel, and he'll be a great addition. I really liked listening to him, and yeah, he's a very smart guy. I think he'll be great as an analyst for them too.
No, he's got a wealth of knowledge, and he's one of my Falcons. He's one of my guys.
Yeah,
Even though he was on the field, when my heart got ripped out. But yeah, man, he's still one of my guys. He's still one of my guys.
right. Oh, I forgot to mention that Kristaps Porzingis suffered a calf injury early on game 4 and questionable to play the rest of this week. I guess they're hoping to be able to advance quick and maybe he can recover. Man, there's been way too many injuries in the NBA. It's been really tough to see.
It sucks because we just don't get to see the best versions of these teams when all these injuries come about.
Okay, I just want to mention the world of golf. Live Golf had a huge tournament in Adelaide, Australia. They call it the Party Tournament, Party City, and they partied pretty damn hard yesterday because the Australian team, Ripper GC, ended up winning the tournament in the second playoff hole in front of the hometown fans, and the party went off. It is still going on today, and it'll probably be going on for a couple more days. It was pretty wild to see how much they had to go into playoff, the second playoff hole, and get the victory. And this tournament is super fun to watch. I watched tons of the highlights, and yeah, I really love Live Golf, and it was nice to see the hometown guys in front of the Aussies get the victory.
And Australians, we know them. They party hard.
Yes.
They party hard. So
do.
I can only imagine exactly all the fun that those guys had after they won that playoff. Where it's just like, oh, boys, we are not going to sleep for a while.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
a long time.
Yeah, I think yeah, I wish I was there. It would have been such a blast. Keep partying and partying and partying some more. There was a really hilarious video that came out about in the tournament. One of the golfers named Kevin Na ended up hitting it into the woods and is caught on the microphone yelling, "This is effing ridiculous!" And he's hacking. He's trying his best to get out of there, and beep 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 beep. And but they didn't bleep it out. I don't know. I think that somebody didn't get on the bleep button fast enough. And it's pretty funny if you can find his tirade. He had an absolute meltdown, and It was fun to watch. The PGA Golf had a tournament this weekend as well, and they had teams of two that played. This was in New Orleans, called the Zurich Classic, and Rory McIlroy and Steve Lowry ended up winning also in a playoff. On the first playoff hole, they were able to get the victory. Canadians finished 10th and 11th. Great to see the Canadians. At one point, the one Canadian team was right up there. Had a chance to, it looked like they had a chance to win it all, but fell back a little bit. But an interesting tournament with teams of two. The Live Golf has teams of four. PGA, one of the only tournaments they have where they have teams of two like this.
Yeah, that's one of the few tournaments, and it's unfortunate that our Canadians fell off and didn't compete to win the tournament the way that they could have. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, they were right there heading into the fourth round. Nick Taylor and Adam Hadwin, the Abbotsford boys, and they shot a 71 on Sunday, just a 1 under par, and fell back to 10th, like I said. And then Corey Connors and Taylor Pendrith finished one shot behind them in 11th. But speaking of Canadians, Canadian Stephen Ames celebrated his 60th birthday on Sunday with a victory on the Champions Tour. He successfully defended his title at the Mitsubishi Electric Classic. That was his 8th win on the Champions Tour, actually doubling his win total from the PGA Tour. And it's great to see him still getting victories. That's his 2nd of the year, and no other golfer has more than one this season on the Champions Tour.
Excellent. Great to hear. It's always excellent to see our Canadians do well, and especially our aging stars. And the fact that he's won 2, great on him. Good
Yeah,
work.
I love it. Yeah, great guy, and good to see him still getting these wins. Okay, we had another UFC card from the F and Apex. I could not believe how often there was no cheering whatsoever. There was no atmosphere, no energy. I was like, holy cow, how can I be one of the only people that's noticing there is no energy in this entire building here? There would be making an announcement and the guy put his hands up and not one person was cheering in the entire arena. And I'm like, not booing him, not cheering him, not anything. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, we just can't have these. I'm considering boycotting them. I might maybe next year, but Jesus Christ, like, it's really frustrating me, and it's just hard to manufacture energy, and there was none there on Saturday night, even though it was a pretty decent card. Just zero energy in the building.
No, it was a decent card. There was some finishes, some great finishes, but at the same time, I swear they do the Apex just to conserve and save money. Yeah. That's what they're doing it for. They're doing it to save money. But even if they're doing that to save money, please bring in people that want to be there, cheer, to cheer on people, like just to want to see great fights, like because that's what these fighters are putting everything on the line to hear nothing. Awesome. What a great experience. Thanks, Data. This has been fantastic. I heard nothing.
If I would have had the time, I would have recorded a bunch of moments where they just, they're making an announcement of the fighter and there was nothing. I'm going to do it one day soon. I'm going to take the time and I'm going to clip out and I'm going to throw them up and I'm going to show you, like, okay, can you hear one person cheering? No, I don't think so. There's just nothing there. And it's just not fair to the fighters. It's not fair to the fans. It's just really not showcasing the top dog in mixed martial arts properly. It's a regional fight. We can go here locally and see regional fighters. You can see them all over North America, usually all over the world, but we don't want that. We want the top dog to give us this energy, this amazing performance, these top fighters deserving huge crowds to fight in front of. And somebody's got to just put their foot down and say enough's enough. We're out of COVID. We don't need this anymore. You don't need to save money. You're already a $6 billion company. Just spend the money, get out to these places, and put on the fights in front of fans.
Yeah, I wish that were the case, but you know that's probably not going to happen. Now that they've done it like this, they're just like, no, this is the way that we do things. Because unfortunately, there is a very much a similarity between what we hear in the Apex at times, like during this one, especially. And then you remember when the NBA was playing in the bubble, and they had to pipe in like fan noise,
crowd noise.
Yeah, maybe that's what the UFC is gonna have to do. Pipe in some fake fan noise. Do it. Just make it real bad. Like just make it super obvious.
Oh yeah, that'll just that won't make me any more happy. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, there's my rant. For some reason, I was starting to wonder if COVID was a thing because Daniel Cormier said he was super sick. Joe Martinez was originally announcing the fighters as they were coming in the cage. He got too sick to do it, and Charlie Arnott had to come in and finish that off. I was starting to think, whoa, has COVID reared its ugly head? And everybody inside there's got COVID now. And maybe that'll be the way of stopping the Apex. It's too small. Everybody gets COVID. We can't have them in here. We got to have big arenas where you spread out more.
Yeah, and by the way, I did want to point this out. The fact that she did that was the first time in UFC's history that a female voice commentated like that, introducing the fighters. Yeah. First time ever. So kudos to her, props to her. She did a fantastic job. They should let her do it again.
Did you hear what Cormier said? He said, "I'm the MJ of broadcasting." and everybody was like, what does that mean? And then he goes, I'm like the flu game. I'm playing injured and I'm coming in here and I'm still kicking ass. I'm the best. And then Dominic Cruz right away goes, "No, I think you're Charles Barkley." And it was pretty sweet. It was very quick. He just flipped it in there, and then and then at some point through the fights, there was a hot mic on Cormier. I don't think he thought he knew there was, and he said, "You're a fucking liar," and he sort of repeated it again, and then it went silent, and they cut his mic off. And I don't know who he was saying that to. He kind of called somebody an effing liar a couple times there, and I'd really like to dig a little deeper, see if I could find out. But it was kind of wild. Did you hear that?
I missed it. Yeah. I missed it. I didn't miss the point where all of a sudden it went quiet. I heard that where I'm like, well, what happened to them talking? Because it was extended and it was for a while.
Yeah.
But I missed that part. Like I did not hear that. Was it loud enough or was it kind of still silent?
It was pretty quiet in the arena, but
when he said it,
I could distinctly hear Cormier say that, and you could see them. You could see them through the cage in the corner of the TV screen. You could see them. And I don't. He wasn't looking he wasn't looking at Cruz or John Gooden. He was just saying it to someone, and I didn't. It didn't come across as a joke, as laughing. It was just like, "You're a effing liar. You're an effing liar," a couple times, and so I don't know. It was kind of bizarre.
Well, because sometimes, if he has the headset on, he's talking to guys in the truck too as well. Yeah. So he could have been talking to somebody else. Like he could have been talking to his producer or his, like one of those guys.
Could have been.
So, who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? They made an announcement on the broadcast that Beneil Dariush won the Forrest Griffin Humanitarian Community Award. He's getting a $25,000 check to give to his favorite charity of choice, and he'll be honored the same night that they do the Hall of Fame inductions, Thursday, June 27th. And Forrest Griffin, still part of the UFC and one of the biggest humanitarian guys in MMA history. And it's great that this trophy is now named after him. And Dariush seemed very touched to get this honor.
Yeah, as he should be. Like, it's. I find it amazing that Forrest Griffin actually carved out a job for himself, a real job, where he had the choice of not showing up and getting paid, but he decided, no, I'm going to show up every day and like do stuff because it's a job I'm getting paid for. Right?
Yeah.
And then, so
I love it.
when the new ownership took over, they recognized that and said, oh no, he's cool. He's still on the payroll. Everybody else is gone, but he's good.
Yeah, I know. Amazing. Yeah. Okay. We're heading into May. May and June. The next 2 months are absolutely incredible for the world of combat sports. We've got so many really, really, really amazing fights coming up. May the 4th, we've got UFC 301. Canelo fights the same night. We've got Kambosos fighting on May 11th. We've got Fury and Usyk on the 18th. We've got Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier, June the 1st. Same night, Bivol and Beterbiev. June the 22nd, we've got Whitaker against Khamzat Chimaev. And June the 29th, McGregor and Chandler. 2 months, absolutely so many fights. I didn't even mention all of it. There's more fight nights there. There's more things going on in the combat world. But can you believe how many great fights and things, fight cards we have coming up?
No, it's fantastic. It's great. And then, you know what? That's usually how May and June start off. Like, it's a great start to the summer. With all these fantastic fights. I am super looking forward to it. I'm super looking forward to seeing Fury Usyk with you.
Yeah, we were going to watch that.
Great.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's blast into the card here that we had on Saturday night. We had a flyweight battle between number 5 against number 8. When we previewed this card, I said, hey, how the hell is Alex Perez sitting at number 8 when he hasn't had a victory in 4 years, coming off 3 straight losses? He was a former title challenger, but how does a guy not winning in 4 years still stay at number 8 in the top 10? Well, he showed me why. He absolutely had an incredible performance, was able to get a huge victory, and got the knockout, was able to show why he's still super tough, super relevant, and should be in the top 5 in the flyweight division. I was wrong. I guess. And he proved it.
Yeah, I know, man. That dude's got big power for a little guy. He's got huge power. And the thing that really impressed me with him throughout the course of this fight was his combinations that he was throwing, especially his punch combos. Wow. Crisp, accurate, powerful. Yeah. All of them. And he looked like he was a cut above Nicolau. He really did.
His movement was incredible. Mm-hmm. His punching combinations, he was throwing them from all different angles and just peppering them. And when he finally landed that shot that stunned Nicolau, he was able to notice Nicolau took a few steps back towards the cage. Then he was measured. He didn't come in and just start swinging and throwing hooks like crazy. He just sort of waited, and he waited for that opportunity. He came in, and he ended up dropping him with that huge right hook that put him down, and that was all she wrote. Mark Smith had to come in and finish it off. $50K for the performance of the night, and yeah, top five now. Probably one fight away from maybe another opportunity at the belt.
Yeah, I would say so. Because let's say this, he takes Nicolau's number 5 position,
Yeah,
fights somebody else now above him. Maybe he's one more fight and then should get a shot at the title.
yeah.
I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, very impressive. Great victory and a nice comeback after losing three in a row. I think a lot of people started thinking, okay, maybe Perez is on the downside and he won't be yeah, relevant too much longer. If he would have taken that loss, I can't believe how far down he might have fallen. But yeah, this resurrected his career and put it back into the right trajectory. It's amazing.
No, absolutely. And he knew how much this fight meant. He knew that if he doesn't get this fight, if he doesn't get this win, he might not get another shot at the title.
Yeah.
So this is a big win for Perez.
Um, they're giving Pantoja's fighting next week, and they're giving number 10 the shot at the belt. So number 5, I think you got to be ready now.
Oh yeah,
You know, just everybody from 9 all the way to 1 has to be ready to take on the champ. Maybe Ursig doesn't make the fight, gets injured or something like that. Maybe they make a short notice call to anybody. So I think everybody better be ready for a championship opportunity and you know, the possibility at the belt now.
yeah, I think so too. Like across the board, whatever weight division, because if they can just give it to number 10 and be like, what about number 1 contender? No, 2, no, 3, no, 4, no, 5, 6, no. Let's go with 10. Let's go with 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Still doesn't make sense to me. Still hard to understand why Ursig is getting that chance already. But yeah, Perez will jump up to number 5. Nicolau, I don't know if he'll fall all the way to 8, but he might drop a couple of spots. And yeah, next week we'll see Ursig and Pantoja fight. So, okay, let's turn to the co-main event. We had Ryan Superman Span fighting Brandon Guskov. No, Bogdan Guskov, sorry. And I was I was really on Span here. I thought his movement, I thought yeah, he would just be able to utilize his length and movement and a lot of the power that he has and be able to beat a guy that doesn't have a ton of experience at this level and had a really good first round. I thought he did very well, was
Yeah.
able to yeah, take him down and do it. But when he got caught, look out. It changed quickly. Span was dropped. Guskov just had to jump on him, landed a few big shots, and put him out. It was a great comeback by him and pretty surprising. I did not see him winning this fight.
I didn't either. I thought Span actually had a great game plan, which is just use his superior wrestling, athleticism, and size to ground him and keep him grounded.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he couldn't do that in round 2. And Guskov got off his strikes and he hit him with that devastating uppercut, which spelled the beginning of the end for Span. So
Yeah.
if the one thing that we know about Bogdan Guskov is this, he's got huge amount of power.
Yeah.
And if he hits you with them things, he hits you with those hands, you're gonna go down.
Yeah.
Going down.
He's a very powerful guy. And yeah, yeah, he to me, yeah, he was so raw. But yeah, I just wanted to see he landed that uppercut, put Span, you know, wobbly legs, and yeah, he's able to drop him. This was a fast meteoric rise for a guy to get up to number 11 in the rankings, and yeah, I'm pretty surprised how quickly he's been able to get up this high.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very surprising, but he's shown that he definitely belongs. He's shown that.
A lot of people call him Anthony Lionheart, and he said he's been getting that quite a bit, and that's kind of funny how he does resemble Anthony quite a bit. He also got 50K, one of the performance bonuses for that big knockout. Okay, we had two girls, very similar, exactly the same measurements. One is Da Silva, one Silva. One is spelled almost the same. First name is spelled as almost the same. I was like, oh, how am I going to distinguish between these two? And after watching it, I realized Carini Silva is actually quite a bit better than Ariana De Silva, and she really proved it to me. I thought she was super dominant, and I thought, yeah, won this fight quite handily. She's on a 9-fight win streak, won a unanimous decision. Two judges had 29-28, one had 30-27, but to me, I thought Karina Silva was the much better fighter between the two.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I thought Silva was definitely the better grappler, was consistently able to take De Silva's back and threaten with submissions. And yeah, just from that alone, that's what I felt how she won the fight.
Yeah. Good. Okay. We had Austin Lane and not Denise. And Denise also got 50K for his big knockout. He was able to land a huge left that wobbled Lane, then some strikes dropped him, and just put him face down on the canvas. Yeah, just one of those walk-off KOs. Man, this guy's powerful. And yeah, that first round I thought Austin did pretty good, and then all of a sudden Denise was able to just land those bombs, and it was over.
Yeah, because Denise just had to weather the storm. Lane was definitely the better grappler, managed to literally football tackle him to the mat in that first round, because that was a tackle. That wasn't like a takedown. That was just a tackle. And but I thought that Lane gassed himself a bit by doing all of that excessive grappling. And so Denise literally just kind of waited, weathered the storm, and then took him out in the round two. It was great win by Denise. Great game plan.
Lane just couldn't get the takedown that he needed in that second round. He tried for it a couple times. Had to
Good
take
takedown
two
defense.
shots when he went one in for the takedown, couldn't get it. And then Denise was able to walk him down, landed the huge right, big left, and put him out. Lane, former NFL defensive end, so yeah, knows how to tackle. Played for the Jags, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bears in the NFL. And yeah, he's a big guy. I forgot that he was 6'6", 255. Very big guy. But the bigger you are, the harder they fall, as they say. And when they showed one of the replays, I think they showed the one shot they showed where Lane just ended up just flopping face down and out. It was pretty wild, and Mark Smith was in there quick. Holy cow, get the doctor in quick, because this guy's in trouble. 15 straight 15 straight wins for Denise in all combat competition. He was a kickboxer coming in, and 10 of those 15 wins were won by this big left hook shot that took Austin Lane out, and has taken out many tough guys. A lot of guys from the kickboxing world are coming into MMA now and doing really well.
Yeah, because they have the one thing down pat, which is their stand-up. Their stand-up is absolutely incredible. So the one lone chance you have of beating them is you better get them down to the mat quickly, because standing up with them, way too dangerous.
Big
you
trouble.
put yourself at tremendous risk.
Yeah. I really like the fight between David Onama and Jonathan Pierce. Pierce is super tough and very game, but Onama is much faster, much more powerful, and really was, to me, the better fighter between them. Pierce just keeps coming and coming and coming at you, but Onama, I thought, won those first two rounds and was able to, yeah, get a nice win over, yeah, a super tough guy.
Yeah. The one thing that I thought happened over and over again, which spelled Pierce's due, the reason why he didn't win the fight, was that whenever he took Onama's back and he put in like the body triangle to try to lock him into place, never worked.
Reversal.
He was
Yeah, he got a
able to reverse
reversal.
it
Yeah,
every single
every
time,
time. Yeah,
every time. And
yeah,
I think that contributed to Pierce losing that fight. If he was able to lock him in and him not be able to do that, I think he would have won that fight.
yeah.
But the fact that he couldn't do that, lost the fight.
Yeah, I think Onama had about 5 or 6
Six of
reversals
them.
from that
Yeah.
position, and yeah, it definitely swung it in onto his side, and they ended up the fight too at the end, both swinging, both
Yeah.
swinging. I wish they would have connected. They just were just missing and
Yeah.
just very glancing blows, but it was almost like Gaethje Holloway at the
Yeah.
end of 300. They really went for it in those last 10 seconds. They just needed to be a little more accurate with those shots.
Yeah, no, I appreciated it. I was like, they're trying to do a recreation and not Gaethje or Holloway, but I appreciated them trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what else was I gonna say about Onama? I forget. Oh, that Factory X team. I cannot believe how many top fighters they've got coming out of there. That elevation in Colorado is really working so well. They don't look gassed ever. They look
Yeah.
like the stamina is just incredible there. And I'm impressed. Mark Montoya and the fight camp that he's assembled there is just becoming second to none. I'm blown away by them.
No, they're doing a great job up there, and then also too, it's environment and location, which is
Yeah.
really creating these terrifying fighters when it comes to stamina endurance.
There's a Denver card coming, and Onama asked on it. I don't have the date in front of me, but I remember one of the last Denver cards. It wasn't good for heavyweights. It wasn't good for the
No,
big boys. They got too exhausted in the elevation,
yeah,
and I think the UFC would have noticed if I noticed. So we'll be able to see a lot of guys in the smaller weight classes probably compete on a card like that.
yeah,
Uh, okay. Tim Means, super tough guy, been around for a very long time. He's actually has the most fights as an active welterweight in the UFC, 50, 40 years old, and been in there against everyone and anyone. And the doctor, Uros Medic, had a huge victory here. He was able to land this left uppercut. Just had to do one shot on the ground and stamp it, finish it off. And he also got 50K for one of the knockouts of the night.
yeah. He looked fantastic, and he made it look easy.
Yeah.
Made it look easy. I believe he caught Means coming in with the left uppercut, and it was a perfect strike, by the way. It was a perfect punch.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed, perfectly executed. I'm sorry, Means, but you didn't have a chance after a punch like that. And it
No.
was over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He finished him real quick.
Yeah.
He talked a lot about really tough time in his life lately, and
Mhm.
he said that he was feeling really, really down after his last loss. He said he was training specifically Muay Thai for about 3 months for his opponent, and then his opponent dropped off. They had a late replacement, and he hadn't wrestled at all. And of course, that opponent, boom, immediately wanted to wrestle him. He
Yeah.
said it was brutal, and he said he's never going to do that again. and he learned a big lesson, and hoping that this will be the last time he makes a mistake. He wants to be super well rounded. The 50K bonus that he got will definitely help him be able to focus so much more on his training and come in well rounded without just focusing on one element of the fight game.
Yeah, well, you know what? You learn. Sometimes the best teacher is experience. That way you gain wisdom. And so now he knows it's like you can't just practice one aspect of mixed martial arts. It's got to be all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. The featured prelim had Victor Henry and Ronnie Yaya. Both guys very experienced veterans. Yaya seems like he's been around forever. I think it was 17 years ago he was fighting in the WEC, came into the UFC, and he's fought a ton of guys. He's getting up there in age too, 39 years old, fighting a bit of a younger guy in Victor Henry. And Henry has taken that next level once he's got with Josh Barnett and took him on as his head trainer. I think I'm super impressed with what Victor brings to the table. Was able to get a couple of knockdowns and was able to really just grind out a very good win. Ends up getting the knockout with there. He landed a head kick and then just an onslaught of strikes until Jason Herzog came in and stopped it. And I thought there was really good sportsmanship there right away. He came over, checked on him, said, "Thanks so much for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate it. You're a legend." And it was really nice to see. And that's one of the things that just always warms my heart with mixed martial arts and the UFC. These guys do have tons of respect and love for each other, and the sportsmanship is second to none most often.
Yeah, second to none. The fact that he just showed the utmost respect, but went in there and did his job. Yeah. Now, I think Victor Henry knew that he would definitely have the advantage in the stand-up and just needed just to keep his distance away from Yaya. And the times that Yaya did get his hands on him, Victor Henry was able to stand up and get the fight back to where he wanted the fight to be, which was on the feet. And he was excellent at doing that and keeping it where he wanted it to be, and got the TKO in round 3.
Yep. Austin Hubbard had a great performance. He's coming back after getting cut from the UFC, having to go back onto the Ultimate Fighter and having to get his second opportunity. He really had a great performance, I thought. Was able to have his career best amount of significant strikes on this fight, and he ended up winning, I thought, 2-1. That's what the judges thought too. And nice performance against a very tough guy.
Very good performance. It was a very close fight, I thought, anyways. It was Hubbard really had to earn every bit of this. Really did. Great counters on his part. Bottom on all levels, Big Lack. And I thought definitely within the grappling, I think he had the edge over Big Lack as the fight went on.
Yeah. Okay, we had a heavyweight battle between Dontel Mays and Kaya Machado. Machado is actually a Vancouver boy. He originally from Brazil, but he moved here to Canada, has fought around here locally quite a bit. So I do cheer for him and hope he does really well. I'd love to see a local kid do well. Unfortunately, he lost the first 2 rounds, came on pretty good in the 3rd round, but was down 2-1. He got dropped early in the 1st round and then seemed to be able to come on later on, but Mays had already taken care of those first 2 rounds, got the decision victory.
Yeah, he had those 2 rounds in the bank with great punch combos and just controlling the fight. Machado did come back on in the third round, but too little, too late, unfortunately.
Yeah. What do you want to say about the female fight between Marnik Mann and Caitlin Souza?
For Souza, she was very good with her grappling, and very diversified with her strikes, throwing that spinning back kick that she had in the first round. Good ground and pound too in the first round. Souza was, I just thought, had better control of the fight over Mann throughout the entirety of it, and yeah, she got a great win. Great win.
Yep, yep, yep. That's all I want to say about it. Great. Yeah. Okay. The first fight that both you and I watched, we didn't get to see the early prelims, but the Chris Padilla James Lontop fight. Padilla ends up getting a really nice submission victory. He had a couple early takedowns, wasn't able to secure them. Lontop was able to get back up. That final takedown that he got, he was super quick on securing a rear naked choke in there, forcing a tap on Lontop. Great performance from Padilla, and yeah, was able to just keep at it, finally get exactly what he needed.
Yeah, he kept at it. He kept at it. And then once he finally saw his opportunity, the way he took the back and sunk in the rear naked choke pretty much at the same time, very fast, very efficient, very impressive.
Yeah, that was so quick and incredible. Yeah, one of the fastest I've seen in a long time, and it was, yeah, it was bam. That was done and over with. Okay, that's it for that card. Let's just quickly talk about the card coming up this weekend. We've got UFC Rio, and it has the main event between Alexander Pantoja and Steve Erceg. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Anything more you want to say about this title fight?
Well, this is the fact that it's surprising that it's even happening. I guess they're looking at Steve Erceg and they're saying, you're the up and comer, you're 12-1, you get your shot at the champ already. Yeah. Cool. Hopefully you don't get blown out. Good luck.
The Cannibal against Astro Boy. I'm definitely leaning towards the Cannibal there. And yeah, Erceg has looked good, but he's only had 3 appearances in the UFC, and I think he's in over his head. I think Pantoja wins this running away. Looking forward to the King of Rio returning to Rio after some retirement, after some boxing fights. It'll be nice to see Jose Aldo back in there. The former UFC featherweight champion, already a Hall of Famer, inducted in 2023. 8 title fights, the most in UFC featherweight history. Tons of performance bonuses. One of the all-time best in the world. I just wish they weren't throwing him in against such a killer for maybe his last fight ever. Jonathan Martinez, number 13 in the division, but absolutely brutal leg kicks from him. He is just so punishing. He's another Factory X guy that's coming, and it should be a good fight, but I think unfortunately Aldo might be in a little bit over his head with this one.
Could be, or we could see something vintage. We could see some throwback. I think he still has it in him. I'm looking forward to seeing this fight just to see how much Jonathan Martinez can pull it out of him.
Yeah,
because I think it's a very real possibility that we see an incredible performance by Aldo.
Cool. Let's hope, man. I hope so. I hope so. The other couple of fights on the card that I like, number 10, Anthony Lionheart Smith. We talked about him very briefly earlier. Against number 15, Vitor Petrino. Should be a great battle. Light heavyweight ballers. We got Michel Pereira on this card against Ihor Pretoria. Both fighters are super dangerous and tough. That fight will be one of the fights of the night.
That'll be a great fight. That'll be a fantastic fight. And then also too,
Paul Craig,
Bear Jew. Yeah, Paul Craig.
Yeah,
love that guy. And
Yeah,
he's going to be in tough though against Kyle Bar and Bar damn it Barholo. Did
sure.
I even come close?
Yeah, close. Close. Yeah, number 13 against number 14 there.
Yeah.
Love Paul Craig, one of my favorite fighters in the UFC roster. And yeah, against a very tough Brazilian.
Yeah.
Caio Borraio is how
But
you say his name. Yeah.
okay,
So,
Bariah. Yeah, Kyle.
yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, this fight is early prelims start at 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific time for the prelims, and then main card 7 o'clock normal usual time for UFC cards. And yeah, I think this card has the potential to be quite a bit better than this past week's card, and
Yeah.
heading into some big fights coming up, as I mentioned, in May and June. Man, we got some great bangers coming, and yeah, I'm super looking forward to tons of them. It's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing some of them with you. It's gonna be good months of fights. Good months
Yeah.
of fights.
Okay, man. Well, good luck with your new pilot, and I hope your I hope your week goes swimmingly well, and you can keep your sanity.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I can guarantee you this: it's gonna be late every
Oh,
day.
oh, damn. Oh, damn. Yeah, yeah, that's never fun. That's never a fun aspect. We always love it if we can get off decent time, so we can get at some basketball and other things. But yeah, good luck. Keep me posted and text me over some of these great basketball matchups. There's going to be some good games, especially those two series that are tied 2-2. I'm really excited to see how they end up panning out.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to those two because well, those are the last two close ones.
Yeah.
Everything else is almost over. So,
Oh yeah, pretty close. Yeah. Okay, buddy. As always, thanks so much. Have a great night. We'll talk soon.
all right, we'll talk soon. Take it easy.
Okay. Cheers. Bye for now. All right. Well, another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast has come to an end. Thank you so much for your viewership and your loyalty. I appreciate it as always. Thanks so much. Thank you very, very, very much. I want to thank our partners and sponsors. I want to thank Barrel. No, I want to start with Anchor. Anchor.fm, the easiest place to make a podcast. Just go there and you can do what Jason and I just did here. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, an industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And the V350 stick is a must-have for anyone in your midst that plays hockey. I want to thank Pampas and Possibilities, designers of West Coast beautiful things for your home, and they can come in and spruce it up, make it look fantastic. And last but not least, Forever Living, the aloe vera company with health and beauty products. We love them here. You'll love them too. Go to our website. You can get some at some discounted rates. So take care of yourself. Have a fantastic week ahead. And keep watching some great sports. There's always lots going on. And go Canucks, go. Let's finish off the Predators, move on to the next round. Looks like the Oilers should be a great all-Canadian battle. So again, thank you. Take care. Bye for now. Love you lots. Good night.